Hello everybody, this is Scott Bradley coming to you from www.scottbradley.name, and in this Evernote video I am going to do a follow-up based on the past video that I did about CRM and take it one step further. If you are in a sales-based role that involves reaching out to people, following up with people, getting them to make decisions, selling your product, and if you're in the real estate niche, the credit card processing niche, any, an selling advertising niche where you're in a constant state of needing to reach out and prospect and manage people through a funnel, you're going to absolutely love this video and how you can use Evernote to manage that entire process for you. Now, I'm just going to warn you, it may be a little long of a video, but I know that by the end of this video, you're going to go, wow, this is an amazing system. It's totally free. I can set it up now and go to the races with it. So it may be a little long because there may be some more explanation than normal in past videos. So I'm just warning you ahead of time. I don't know how long this video is going to go, but I'm going to be as clear and thorough as I possibly can so you get the value that you need so you can start implementing it as soon as possible. So typically, let's just say, for instance, that you are in the real estate niche and you're looking to get listings for homes. And let's say that one of the ways that you go and network and get to touch people and talk about what you do is you go to networking events locally. So I'm going to show you how this system works, assuming that scenario. Again, your scenario may be different depending on what you sell and the steps that go through that process. So again, as I've told you in past videos, if you wanted to send me what you do and what business that you're in, so then I can make a custom Evernote setup for you for a future video, what I want you to do is send me an email to evernote.scott@gmail.com with the subject line, how would you ... and in that message I want you to put, I'm in this business, here's what I do, I will need an Evernote setup for this type of scenario. Again, I know that this scenario is not going to apply to everybody in the sales-based role watching this video, but it will get your head thinking about how you can set a similar system up for you. So, going back to my example, you're a real estate agent. One of the ways that you collect information about possible ways to get listings is through networking at individual networking events locally. So here's how to set this up first before you start populating it and leveraging it. What you want to do is you want to create a notebook stack, and I call this the funnel notebook stack. So the title of the stack is funnel. And based on this example below, again, this may be custom for someone else in different bitches, but here's kind of the big general framework of where I'm thinking from. The very first notebook that you want is A, business. And again, I've done A through H just for the sake of organization from top to bottom. I know on the desktop version that you'll be able to manipulate the places of where notebooks go, but again, the web-based version doesn't allow you to do that. So again, I'm just going to list them off. The first notebook is A, business cards. Next notebook is A, cold leads. Next notebook is A, warm. Next notebook is C, current prospects. Next notebook is D, appointment scheduled. Next notebook is E, needs follow-up after appointment. Next notebook is F, customer. Next notebook is G, drip/nurture. And the next notebook is H, dead. So that's the notebook framework that you want to set up. And then the next framework that you want to set up is your tagging framework. Let me tell you what you need to create. As you know, in past videos, I've created tagging frameworks with 3 or 4 letters before an actual tag. Basically, the reason why I do this is because I want to know what tags are associated to what notebook. So, as you saw in previous ones, my contact notebook that had all my contacts, I had specific tags that said con graphic designer, con real estate investor, etc. So for this one, since our notebook stack is called funnel, the prefix that we're going to use is fun and then the tag name. So here are the tags that you want to set up before you start using this. First one is fun, and A, waiting on, and again, I've used the A and the Z's and the different letters before just for the sake of organization, as I said earlier. So the first one is fun, A, waiting on. Next one is fun, cold call 1, no message, or no mess. Next one is fun, cold called 1, spoke. Next one is fun, cold called 2, no mess. Next one is fun, cold called 2, spoke. Next one is fun, cold called 3, message left. Next one is fun, cold called 3, spoke. Next one is fun, FU, call 1 plus message, and then FU stands for follow-up. So fun, follow-up, call 1 plus mess. Next one is fun, the letters FU, call 2 plus mess. Next one is fun, FU, call 3 plus final mess. And again, these fun FU, it's funnel, follow-up, call 3, final message. Funnel, follow-up, call 2, message. Funnel, follow-up, call 1, message. And again, I'm just using the FU. Yes, it is a derogatory term, so we could all laugh about it now. But FU is just that short word for follow-up. That's why I put it that way. Okay, next, last part of the tags. Fun, FU, warm-up, call 1, mess. Fun, warm call 2, mess. Fun, oh, that should have fun, FU, warm call 2, mess. Fun, FU, warm call 3, mess. And I'm just going to rename these right now so we don't get confused. Save. Rename. Save. And then the last ones are fun, Z, dead. Next one is fun, Z, drip, dash, slash, nurture. Last one is fun, Z, hot. So, I know that's a lot to set up, but you're going to see why this is valuable in a second. So again, set up the notebook stack with these notebooks. Set up the tags with all these tags. Now, going back to the example of you network at local networking events as a real estate agent, you're going to get business cards from people. You're going to network, you're going to learn, you're going to meet people, so on and so forth. So let's just say you get a business card from Sally Sue, who's in your local area, and your conversation dealt with talking about her, her wanting to possibly sell her house. So here's what you would do. In every lead that starts either starts in the warm category, the cold leads, or the Z business A business cards. Now I do know that if you have inbound marketing coming in and you've put banners out and flyers out and all that stuff, any leads that come in from those first go into current prospects. But typically when most people get started in a sales-based role, I'm doing this assuming that you're just getting started. But if you were doing a lot of inbound marketing, your first contacts that come to you would be coming in at current prospects. But more likely than not, again, going back to our scenario, they're at the local networking, business cards, cold leads, warm. Now the warm people are the ones that you already know. The cold leads are ones that you may have bought somewhere. Business cards are stuff that you've done networking with or you've met in person. So again, going with our example. What we're going to do is every note within each notebook here is going to be tied to one person. So we're going to do new note in business cards, and let's just say this note is, her name is Sally Sue. And what I would put here is Sally Sue. I would also put here phone number and email. And then also say, the date. So let's see, 5/6/13. Explain how you met them and what you talked about. Met at networking event XY, event about whatever. Creativity is escaping me right now. And she mentioned that she wanted to possibly sell her house. I told her I would call her back. Okay. So, what I do here is that's the first note in Sally Sue's note tied to my business card notebook where she starts. So I like to put a line there, and again, it's this little handy dandy thing up here. And so what I would do is at that point is I would say, then it kind of explains where she starts, what happens, etc. Now, let's say a couple days pass, you are deciding to call and follow up with Sally Sue, and probably you put a note in your reminder in your calendar to say, call Sally Sue at, and you could also put here, put in calendar to call her on 5/7/13, and that's probably going to be putting in your iPhone or your smartphone, and it's going to give you that reminder as you start your day. So let's say that 5/17 comes around, 5/7 comes around, and it's time to give her a call. So you're going to give her a call, and you're either going to have a couple things happen. You're either going to get her and speak to her, you're going to get her voicemail, or you're going to get her voicemail, or you're going to speak to her, and she's going to want to schedule an appointment. So let's go in the first scenario. Let's say you call her, and you don't get her on the phone. So what you would do in that scenario would be to go up to your tags and type in fun, follow-up call 1 message. And you left a message just saying, hey, hey Sally, this is, Scott calling. We met at the networking event, blah, blah, blah. Follow-up call 1 message. Now, since she started in business cards, when you make that call, you would click her and drag her to current prospects. So she's out of your kind of starting point, and you know that she is all in your current prospects. And the last action that you've done with her was fun. You followed up with a call 1, and you left a message. So again, you'd update this and go 5/7/13, called to follow up on conversation, got voicemail, left message, and sent an email reply asking what's happening and if she wants to reschedule. So again, you go to your email, you'd send that email, and she'd be sitting here in your current prospects. Again, you'd probably go back to your warm and start making your calls. So if you've already figured out by now what these tags are basically telling you what was the last action that I took with my prospect, and so I know where they are in my funnel. So again, going with Sally Sue's step-by-step process, okay? Let's say that, a couple days pass and you haven't heard a reply back from Sally. You want to give her a call again. So what you're going to do is you're going to call her up. Again, you're going to add another thing here with another line. Boom. And let's say it's the 9th, 5/9/13. And let's say you call up Sally Sue, and let's say that you got her on the phone. And in talking with her, she basically scheduled an appointment. And once you scheduled the appointment, you went to your phone, and you put the person's phone information in the calendar about when you're going to meet, where you're going to meet, etc. And then you're good to go. So what you would do there in that scenario is you'd first come here and go called, followed up, scheduled appointment for 5/10/13 at Starbucks at 10 a.m. So 2 things that happen after this point. What we're going to do is we're going to add here, we're going to do fun, let me see here, fun, follow up, warm, no, she would be hot. She would be hot. And then what you'd do is you'd come in here and you would delete, one second, why can't I delete this? Oh, okay, you got to select it and then press delete. So fun Z hot is what she's at, and then she would be move to appointment scheduled. So, you know, we got appointment scheduled. She's here. It's all lined up. You're all good to go. So, let's say that on 5/10, again, we're going to pop this up. Boom. 5/10/13. You had an appointment, and after you had the appointment, she wanted to think about it. And let's say, okay, thanks so much, Scott, for sharing your information. And I just want to take this all. I want to go talk to my husband, yada, yada. We've all heard it before as sales professionals. What you would do is you'd say, okay, add meeting at Starbucks at 10 a.m. Presented everything. She said she needed time to think. We'll follow up with her in 2 days. Okay? So now, what you would do is you'd probably go to your calendar in your phone or your calendar and say, you know, follow up with Sally Sue about house listing on, you know, the 12th. So you do that, and then she'd still be hot because, again, you kind of had this conversation, you've had this meeting, but her context in the notebook changes again. So again, Sally Sue, click, drag, drop to needs follow-up after appointment. Again, just clicking here, funnel, boom. So, as we can see here, let's say the couple days pass. And again, as you can imagine, you're going to have hundreds. If you're doing your job as a salesperson, you have 20 or 30 people that you're juggling at any given time. And as you can see, as this is happening, you're really staying on top of everything and seeing the flow of communication and everything. Follow up in 2 days. Put note in calendar for appointment to call. Okay, so let's say the 2 days passed, 5/12/13. Okay, so you call up Sally Sue, and you say, "Hey Sally, this is Scott. I'm following up from our meeting. I wanted to give you some time to talk to your husband and figure out if you want to list your house. You know, where are you at and what's going on?" So, at that given point, she's either going to, you know, say, "Well, I'm ready to get started," "Not ready, still kind of marinating," or "No, I'm not interested." So I'm going to go over those 3 scenarios. Let's say she's ready to go. Great. She listing blah, 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 whatever. Then she would go into the customer notebook. So I'd click her and I'd drag her in as a customer. And then I'd also add her to, oh, I wouldn't need her because she's already a customer. I would delete Fun Hot because we know she's already a customer. She'd go there, and that's one hunky-dory all in one place. So at any given time, if you wanted to follow up with all your customers that are going to be here, it's simply here, boom, all there. You can click through, call them, say, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on?" Whatever. Okay, so I'm going back to here. Let's say that Sally wasn't ready to get started. What I would have done is do, you know, wasn't ready to get started. Follow up in 3 months. And then put note in calendar about following up. So, you know, put note in calendar about following up on date from 3 months of today. So you would put that in there. And then what she would do, instead of going to the customer, she would go to Drip Nurture. And then I would also tag her as Fun Z Drip Nurture. So at any given time, if you're in your funnel, you can click your funnel, type here, I want to see the Fun Z Drip Nurture leads that I need to be dripping on. Boom. Here they're all going to show up. Okay, so now, again, going back to the needs follow-up, let's just say she's back here, right? Okay. Needs follow-up after appointment. Wasn't ready to get started, follow up in 3 months. So again, let's say you have that same call on the 12th, and she goes, "Hey Sally, what's going on? Just wanted to follow up." And she's like, well, you know, Scott, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and my husband and I spoke about it, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we're ready to do this. I don't think we're going to do this right now. And it's probably not going to happen for the next 2 or 3 years, whatever. So, no problem. Thanks so much, Sally, for letting me know, blah, 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 blah. So your note would be not ready, 3 years, and whatever other notes that you wanted to put. If you wanted to put a note in your calendar for 3 years to follow up, you can. If not, whatever. But she would obviously go into the dead category. And then also, instead of being drip nurture, she would be Z dead. So again, if you ever wanted to raise the dead, you just go to funnel up here at the top, fun, Z, dead, search, then you can see all the no's that you got. And as we all know, the more no's you get, the more money you make. So, as a salesperson selling whatever it is that you're selling. So, this was an example. Again, we had Sally Sue we were a real estate agent. We had Sally Sue. We got her business card at a networking event, and we took her through this entire funnel at any given time. And we leveraged the tags based on what we did, how we managed her, and they ended up, she either has dead, drip, hot, and probably, as I'm thinking about here, we could also do, well, no, customers, because customer is its own notebook. So you want this one to be growing big, 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 and you want the dead ones to be growing big, big, big. Obviously, we want more yeses than nos, but, you know, it's the way the cookie crumbles when it comes to managing a sales funnel as a salesperson. So, just a couple other tags here that I just wanted to go through real quickly, assuming that you either, let's just say, for instance, you got a cold list, a cold lead list. What you would do and what I would do is I'd have my cold list as an actual page with the phone number and the person's name and an email if you can. And every time I'm ready to call somebody, I would first come in here, add the note, you know, cold lead name. And maybe also the way the cold lead I bought. So let's just say list company XYZ. So you know what cold leads actually converted and which ones didn't. So you know what ones to buy in the future. I put their name, phone, email, again, and follow the same process. Let's say you ring, hello. You know, so let's say they don't call. They're going to be at the process of cold called one. And as we all know in sales, it's the rule of 3. Don't leave the message on the first call. Wait until the 3rd call to leave your message. So again, it would be 5, 6, 13. You know, called at 3 p.m. PST. Did not leave message. Boom. And you can just, again, probably when you're calling cold leads, you can always come back to this notebook and, you know, if you're working cold leads, if you're working business card leads, again, you're going to determine how your activity goes. And then in here, you're going to also tag them as called, fun, cold called 1, no message. But let's say that you spoke to them. You're going to go, you know, did not leave message, called, spoke to them. They had interest, scheduled appointment for 5/7/13 at 3 p.m. Put reminder in calendar and ready to go. So then at that point you go tag fun, cold call spoke, cold call 1 spoke, and then the context comes to appointment scheduled. And since you already have the reminder in your calendar, you know that the appointment is scheduled. You come to this, you see the cold lead name. You can come right back up here and go, okay, it's 5/7/13. You have your call, you give your appointment, you present the information, you get a feeling for what they're at, where they're at, what's happening, and then they're either gonna, you know, need follow-up after the appointment, or they're gonna close, or they're going to be dripping. Again, you use the notebooks as the contexts and the tags as where they're at in that process. Again, if you called them, in this cold called one and spoke. Let's say you called them a second time, but you didn't speak to them. You left no message. Again, you keep them in this cold leads that you called. But let's say that you finally do the cold call 3 left message. You can then either keep them in your cold leads, or at any time if your cold lead starts to get too big, you can start dragging them to dead and then tagging them as dead. Or, let's say that you wanted to look at your funnel and you wanted to see swipe. No, not swipe. We're not doing swipe. Sorry. We're fun. Let's see. We wanted to see all the cold leads that we called the 3rd time and left a message. Search. There's going to be all your cold leads sitting there that you called the 3rd time and left a message. And then you're going to see for each lead how you treated it and what happened. So there's that. And then the warm leads, a totally different scenario. Biz card leads and cold-based leads that you've purchased. Warm leads are a little different. Warm leads are the ones that are the people you already know, like, love, and trust, and that you're going to use and reach out to either ask for referrals or ask for, ask for an appointment, whatever. What I typically do with the warm starting point is put in all of my warm leads that I want to call. And again, just like I do, I put the name of the person, and then in the note I put the name, the phone number, and the email. Again, I also keep track at the bottom is the first exposure, at the top is the most recent exposure, and I take them again through this funnel process with the tags. Now, the only difference is where cold calls, I never leave a message on the first call if I don't get them, the second call that I don't get them, but I always leave a message on the 3rd call. With the warm calls, I always leave a message. So you can do fun follow-up warm call 1 message. So like, let's say you call your buddy Bob and you say, hey Bob, what's going on? I'm sorry I didn't reach you. Listen, I have something really cool to tell you, blah, 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 blah. You can leave him as call 1 message follow-up warm. So you followed him up, call 1 message, done. And you can take them through this process. So you're going to probably, in some cases, get a place where you have a lot of people that you've called 3 times and you left 3 messages, and you want to either decide, do we want to put them in drip nurture or do we want to put them in dead? But if you're calling warm people and you haven't physically talked to them, I would always keep them in this follow-up warm call 3 message until you actually talk to them to either get a decision about setting an appointment or getting the fact that they're not interested, so they've moved to the dead or the drip nurture, depending on the scenario that you're managing and dealing with. So typically, that is what, that's how I would manage a funnel using Evernote. And again, as I mentioned earlier, if you are doing inbound marketing, whether you're building email lists with phone numbers and whatnot using the web, driving traffic to a capture page, or you're doing postcards and you're handling inbound calls, all of those inbound-based marketing things would start where they'd first start in current prospects. So every new call, you open it up. Oh, you're calling about this ad. Great. Again, this would be a little different. I would put the person's name of the person. I'd put, again, name, number, email, and then I'd also say responded to add to traffic or internet campaign, Facebook ads, and then maybe you could put other details about that campaign depending on how you structured your funnel and what was important to you. But then again, same process, 5, 6, 13, spoke to, name, he liked the message of XYZ in the campaign, scheduled appointment, blah, 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 put in calendar to call or meet in person. And then at that point, it would be click, appointment scheduled, and you know how to go from there. So that is how I would manage a funnel of people as you're reaching out to new people, as well as dealing with new inbound requests and then leveraging and using your email, your own personal email client, as well as your own personal cell phone for your calendar and appointment setting and whatnot. This is a system that works, that it's not a massive expensive system that you're paying huge monthly fees for or anything. This is going to be a simple thing you can set up, a simple thing you can use, and the best thing about this is you have it on your cell phone, you have it on your tablet, you have it on your computer, so you can be managing your funnel and making progress no matter where you are in the world at any given time. I really hope that this added a ton of value for you. If you haven't already done so, I highly recommend you sign up for updates. Go to scottbradley.name/Evernote tips. Put your name and email in there. And every time I publish a new video to this channel, I will be sending you an email because sometimes YouTube is not as reliable. So highly recommend you sign up for updates. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. It's the bottom left-hand corner of this video. You're going to see a big subscribe button next to my picture and the Evernote Scott channel name. And also, if this added a lot of value to you and you know that it will add a lot of value to anybody else you work with or any other people that you serve, please do feel free to share this video link with them. Again, just copy and paste the link at the top of the browser and put it in your Facebook, put it in your Twitter, send it out to your email list, send it out to your organization. I know that this is going to add a lot of value to them. So, again, I know that other businesses, there may be some details and quips and difference, and that's why in the beginning of this video, if this didn't fill your bill 100% and you needed some more clarity, please send me an email to evernote.scott@gmail.com. And the reason why I'm collecting all of these incoming requests is because after I exhaust the amount of content that I could create from the frameworks that I use Evernote for, what I'm planning on doing is creating custom Evernote setups for people for the future videos that I plan on to create for you. So not only is that going to be a more drilled down, focused, detailed videos that are going to help you either in that niche or outside of that niche, but it's going to add a lot more value to you because you're going to see a lot more practical application of how I would think about setting up the actual Evernote and how it would be implemented in the person's life. So there's going to be a lot of great stuff coming down the pike. Again, evernote.scott@gmail.com. Just send me that request. In the subject line, make sure to put how would you ... and I will handle it from there. Again, I hope you had a great, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. Again, I thank you for your time and attention, and I will be talking with you soon, and I look forward to creating the next video for you. Have a good one. Bye for now.